Intra abdominal pressure. Is it science? Is it voodoo? Keep watching this video and you'll find out. I'm a guy that I don't only train to be optimal, I also train to relieve stress and tension, and sometimes I'll do 20 or 30 sets of over 200 kilos in a squat. How do I maintain rigidity through those vigorous sets? Through a lot of practice, through the correct technique. I breathe slightly differently, a slightly different technique when I'm squatting and when I'm deadlifting. When I'm squatting, I unrack the bar. I'm usually going pretty hard in my intra-abdominal pressure, defending a Mike Tyson punch or something. And then when I walk out, when I'm getting in position, I usually regain energy and might drop it to 60% just because I know I'm confident the weight's there before I switch on back to 100 again. Now, when I'm doing that 60, I'm focusing on the front part, but then when I switch onto that 100, am I flexing the front part 100% more? Not really. What I'm doing is I'm blowing up air in the obliques. I'm blowing up air in my lower back. So basically around my spine, my obliques are blowing up. I'm trying to be as wide as possible, but also this is one thing that I sort of tell a lot of people. If you leave your hand here, if you've ever done this to me, and I go from 0 to 100, it feels like there's a fucking balloon in my lower back or something. Like you can feel it. Once you learn that, you will never get a back injury as long as you are maintaining that tension under loads. Technique cues that have helped me that I've seen on videos. There's a Ed Cohn, Mark Bell video where he's talking about squatting, and he's basically saying one of the biggest things for him is learning how to use his back. So all the muscles around his spine, when he actually learned to the way they go, and he actually learned to contract them to his spine, he learned how to use his back. The other technique cue about bracing that I got is from Mark Bell again, it's from Chris Duffin. Basically, I remember he's screaming these cues at Mark Bell, and he says the ribs draw down. So when you think about it, you've got your ribs. If they're up here, freely move. But if I'm drawing down my ribs, if I'm using my ribs and trying to crush my organs like this, I can barely talk, let alone rotate. I can't. So I've used those two cues to help my brace and help my squat. So basically, when I'm deadlifting, I'm just gonna start with sumo. I stand there like this. I believe I can get bigger breaths, so I'll just try to get as much air as possible, try to get oxygen to my brain so I don't faint. Then I'll step up to the bar, I'll wrench down. Now, some people, and they do it very well, like a lot of world record holders with giant bellies, they start almost hunched over in for what would be a poor position for a beginner. But then they look all right. Now the reason is their spine is flexed forward at the start, but from the second they lift that bar to the ground till when they get the top of their skull to the sky, right? Their back is never flexing forward more. So starting in spinal flexion, but then they're just basically extending their back. They're not doing any more spinal flexion. In fact, the opposite. They're leaning backwards. As long as their back doesn't fall forward, they're gonna hit the lift. Personally, I don't do that. I start with a pretty neutral spine, and when I'm doing a heavy sumo, it's almost like I'm just standing up. So I'll start short arms, but I get as low as possible and as upright as possible. When I brace for a sumo deadlift, just because with the squat, I'm thinking a lot about my lower back. I'm not really thinking about the deadlift. I'm thinking about my abdominal pressure. So basically, I'm just thinking about heavyweight boxer hit me as hard as they can in the stomach. I watched the thing and it was like some 1950 guy, and he decided that he wanted to be shot with a cannon. So they loaded a 47 kilo cannonball, shot him in the stomach, and I knocked him back, but he was okay after that. I guarantee you, he'd be good at deadlifting, he'd be good at squatting, because he can perform the amount of reps. If he can get shot with a giant cannon and be okay, he can be okay when he squats and deadlifts. So with the sumo deadlift brace, somehow you have to figure out how to get your abdominal pressure and even your lat muscles into the soles of your feet. So when you're spreading the floor, when your glutes are ripping the weight off the ground, It's not just your glutes, it's your whole entire body working with that weight, keeping your abs braced and keeping you injury free. In terms of conventional deadlift, so I can't get in as good a position because, as they say, sumo is cheating. So short arms, I can cheat a little bit with sumo. I can put my legs wide, I can shuffle down, but with a conventional, yeah, it's like, there's not a lot I can do. But, you know, what I lack in leverages, I make up for in back tension. So basically with the bar, I'm grabbing the bar, bending it in like that. So not only is my lower back and abs braced, but my back's taking a lot of the load too, my upper back. I feel like my upper back's very key in my conventional deadlift. We've got quite a wide upper back, and yeah, as long as it's maintaining tension throughout the movement, I feel like I will never fail a conventional deadlift. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe and let me know in the comments what you think. My name's Marvin and my channel is Strength Chronicles.